Well, happy New Year, happy New Year. This is our first broadcast of Win TV. Let's talk. I'm your host, Denise Rolark Barnes, publisher of the Washington Informer, and we have a great show lined up for you today. But let me just say, I hope that you had a wonderful holiday. I know some of you all are not back in those work seats right now, and you're coming back next week. So in the meantime, I hope that you had a wonderful, wonderful holiday season. You got a chance to celebrate Christmas, Kwanzaa, New Year's. For some of us, we had a birthday, anniversaries, a lot in the last couple of weeks. And a lot of folks weren't even around to celebrate with you. But we know that and hope that you had a great celebration, a great holiday, are ready for all that the new year brings, and are more energized to have a good kickoff to 2024. Now, like I said, we have a great show lined up for you today. And as we kick off this new year, we're honored to have some truly remarkable guests joining us. They include the legendary Darrell Green, a former professional football player and Hall of Famer. And he will be with or accompanying Carl Hilliard, the esteemed director of the Potomac Job Corps. They're doing some great things over there. And so we look forward to sharing that information with you. And as you know, the annual national holiday honoring the life and legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King will take place on Monday, January 15th. And as always in the case in Washington, D.C., particularly over here in Ward 8, we do a host of events and that take place beginning January 8th through the 15th. And we're so honored to have Maurice Fouché and Wendell Wren, who are two inspiring participants and coordinators of the annual Martin Luther King Jr. holiday celebrations that will be coming up again, like I said, here in Ward 8. Before we dive into these incredible conversations, I hope you've had a chance to pick up a copy of the Washington Informer this week. Yes, we are still publishing in print, so you can still get a copy of the newspaper. If you're looking for places where you can pick up the print edition, you can always call us here at 202-561-4100, or go online at MLK Holiday DC. I'm sorry, I'm so focused on the holiday. Go to WashingtonInformer.com. And if you go to the circulation tab, we can tell you where you can pick up copies of the Informer. And this week, I'm trying to get this out for you all. We're really excited because The Bridge, which is published by my son, Lafayette Barnes, and a team of folks, he and a group of folks actually put together the 35 Under 35 feature this week, recognizing 35 young, interesting, what can I call them? Talented, motivated, inspiring young folks in the DMV who have been selected to be a part of this issue. We have the Media Prints who actually coordinated this and did this in partnership with The Bridge. So check it out. If you're looking for some young folks that are doing some things in DC, and when I say young folks, at this point, anybody that's younger than me is a younger folk. They're young folks. But anyway, it's full of really great stories about what some of these folks are doing in Washington, D.C. and Washington's talent that we don't often get a chance to recognize. So I'm glad they were able to pull that together. And you can pick that up inside of this week's issue of the Washington Informer. You can also, as I said, go to WashingtonInformer.com, our website. You can go to WIBridgeDC.com. That's the Bridges website, WIBridgeDC, and get a copy of this and just sort of keep up with the news that we try to bring to you each and every week, the Washington Informer, and each and every month, WI Bridge. We want to thank you. Thank you for being part of the Washington Informer Network. And while you're watching today, please share this broadcast on all of your social media platforms. If you're watching on Facebook, be sure to share the broadcast and to follow us on IG, X, formerly known as Twitter, Threads, Nextdoor, and YouTube. And we're doing a lot more in LinkedIn. So we were trying to find you wherever you are so that you don't have to search for the news that we provide you every week. We want to put it in the places where you happen to go most often. and keep you, which is our job, to keep you informed. You know, this is also tomorrow, January 6th, marks a historic day in the nation's capital. And while we won't go into much detail about that today, we are still sort of honored and just feel grateful that we have what we call dedicated reporters, photographers, and journalists who will go into some of the places where others won't go and where we're not expected to be, to cover the news for you. And so two of our photographers, Anthony Tillman, um, was actually there at the quote unquote insurrection, the attack on the um, U.S. Capitol on January 6th. Shedrick Pelt also was one of the photographers that was there that day. We've got some historic pictures about how folks decided that they were going to take over the government because they were not happy with the results of the last election. And January 6th is that moment in history that we will not forget. And we also have to keep in mind that we have a presidential election year this year in November. So we will be doing more coverage, not only of the presidential election, and we ask you actually to tune into one of our sister programs, Let It Be Known, with Stacey Brown. That comes on every morning at 7:30 a.m. on YouTube. And Stacey also will be covering more of the presidential elections, while we will be focused on the local elections. Here in the nation's capital, we have a few council seats that are open, and also in nearby Maryland and Virginia. So we want to make sure you get it all through Black-owned media. And so that's Let It Be Known. I'm giving you a lot of information today, but Let It Be Known, as well as Let's Talk here on Washington Informer, WIN TV. So having said that, let's, before we bring on our first guest, let's get our weekly news broadcast by Curtis Knowles.
This is WIN TV News, bringing you the news that matters.
The D.C. Department of General Services recently noted 3 city facilities received awards this year for their architecture. The Arboretum Recreation Center in Ward 5 was feted for the Global Future Design Awards for its uniquely designed timber facility. The Brooks, a short-term housing facility in Ward 3, was honored with the Architectural Award at the 2023 American Institute of Architects, DC's Chapter of Design Awards. And the St. Elizabeth East Campus in Ward 8, which was awarded by the Construction Management Association of America as the best transportation construction project with a budget under $50 million. Agency Director Delano Hunter said, quote, "Every day DSG builds, maintains, and sustains world-class facilities for all district residents, and these recognitions reaffirm our commitment to excellence." After much back and forth, the Bowser administration acquiesced to the D.C. council members, advocates, and constituents who demanded the temporary increase in SNAP benefits as mandated in the 2024 budget. On Wednesday night, D.C. Department of Human Services Director Laura Zilliger announced a last-minute change in action, saying that despite apprehension about operating costs and completing budgetary obligations, her agency will facilitate the 10% increase. She commented further saying, quote, "Residents to prioritize sustaining vital human services programs over administering a new temporary local SNAP supplement." Hundreds of pages of unsealed documents from a lawsuit connected to accused sex trafficker Jeffrey Epstein were publicly released on Wednesday. This is the first set of documents to be unsealed under a December 18th court order, with more expected in the coming weeks. The documents in total include material yet to be unsealed and are expected to include nearly 200 names, including some of Epstein's accusers, prominent business people, politicians, and potentially more. Some people already indicted include Prince Andrew, Virginia Garif, New Mexico Governor Bill Richardson, American investor Glenn Dublin, and tech guru Marvin Minsky.
Thank you so very much, Curtis. And boy, Happy New Year to you too as well. Thank you for continuing to do these broadcasts for us every week. So when I say the name Darrell Green, I'm sure there is only one Darrell Green that pops into your mind. And yes, he is a true icon in the world of football and a pillar of inspiration for many, not only here in the District of Columbia and the DMV, but actually across the country. And from his extraordinary career as a Washington football player to his philanthropic efforts off the field, Darrell Green has exemplified leadership and dedication. And today, Darrell is joining us with Carl Hilliard, the director of Potomac Job Corps. an organization that is committed to empowering young adults by providing them with educational and career opportunities. And boy, we are so glad to be in the same neighborhood as the Job Corps because you all do such great work. So thank you so very much, both of you, for being with us today, and Happy New Year to you.
Same to you, Denise, and great to see you.
Likewise, likewise.
And a happy Panther Pride New Year to you also.
Appreciate that. Appreciate that. So we're not going to talk sports today. We probably could because we talked a little bit about that earlier. But I think the focus right now, particularly as we go into this new year, we got a city that is really getting some really negative publicity because of the crime and all the things that are happening. And rarely do we look at programs that provide solutions. And the Job Corps has historically been in that space and doing that kind of work. So I'm going to start with you, Carl, as Executive Director of the Potomac Job Corps. Just give us a little bit of background in case folks have forgotten about what the Job Corps is, what its mission is.
Yes, thank you. Job Corps is a very valuable program, and we have over 120 Job Corps centers around the country. The mission of Job Corps is to take youth 16 to 24 and bring them onto our wonderful campuses and to assist them in obtaining high school diplomas, certifications within a career pathway. We have several vocational schools here. We teach them employability skills, social skills, banking. And once they're done and they've completed the program with their certifications, their high school diploma, there's multiple career pathways that we like to set these young people on, whether it's apprenticeship, whether it's going into a viable career within the career pathway they've been trained, whether it's going to the military, whether it's going to college. That's just a quick overview of just what this great Job Corps program is all about.
And is it volunteer? I mean, do young people get involved voluntarily, or are they sent by the courts, or how do they get engaged with the Job Corps?
Fantastic question. I think that's one of the biggest myths of Job Corps. A lot of times when I meet people out in the community, they say, "Oh, that's the place where all the bad kids go. That's the place where that's one step before they are incarcerated." That is totally false. None of our students on our complexes have felonies. You cannot come to Job Corps with a violent felony, a violent misdemeanor. It's not a program to where all the bad kids go. These kids are just like our children, and they just need a second chance. It's a place where we consider it's not the last option, it's the first option. And it's a very good program, and we are producing fantastic individuals, and we're placing them out into viable careers.
And speaking of careers, Darrell, your career has taken you around the world. We know you're a neighbor in Virginia, but it's taken you, so many places. How did you, I don't want to say stumble upon, but how did you end up being affiliated with the Job Corps? And what is your role?
Well, I love how you're kicking that off as well, in that I really have been, and I still live with a mad on. I have a mad on that I did not. You said the Job Corps is in your back door. And where I've worked that city my whole life, and I never went to Potomac Job Corps. And so I'm mad because Job Corps is so special. The Darrell Green Learning Centers. I had a company, Trusted Solutions Group, working with ex-offenders. I've done a lot, and I still do. But when I met Job Corps through a good friend of mine, I've just been blown away at what they're about. So, of course, back in the 60s, the whole concept was that, look, these kids or these young people are limited. Their opportunities are limited because of a lack of skills, good educational skills. And that's what they were saying back then. Mm-hmm. But what's happening today is, with the advent of such a broad base of what do we call it? The internet and the communications that's taking place now. Now we're kind of having to go the opposite way, because the kids have so much information. They don't want to go to an NAIA school like me. They don't want to walk on They don't want to get red shirted. You know what I mean?
Right.
Some of these kids don't want to get put back. They don't want to go through boot camp. They don't want to go through these things, go train twice a day, get up early. So because they saying, no, I want to be the head guy today. I want to come in and start right now.
Right.
And so Job Corps does give us an opportunity. And our students, to your point, first of all, these are not criminals. These are kids who stumble, like we've seen, our brothers, our sisters, us, kids down the street that maybe have had a hiccup down the street, but guess what? They have awakened and their mind is made up now. And then Job Corps comes along and says, okay, you ready? All right, well, let's go. We're going to bring you on. We're going to even give you a little stipend so you can pay your phone bill. We're going to let you can sleep here, you can eat here. And what do you want to be? What do you want to do? Well, oh, we have that. You want to be in logistics? Oh, we got that. We can send you, after you finish, we'll send you to Johnson & Johnson. Oh, you want to be in transportation? Oh, we got that. We'll get your GED. Then you'll go on transportation. Guess what? Now you're riding on Amtrak going to, and I'm talking about a real kid.
Right. Okay.
He's going to Boston every day, but he's got a real job, but he only came for his GED. So it's I'm crazy excited about this because it makes so much sense, but it's so needed.
Right.
It's so needed. And yes, you're going to be entry level. You're going to be entry level, but you're going to have knowledge. They're not going to have to when you get there, when you go to wherever place we send you, you won't be like, well, what I do? No, because we've been training you and doing what you'll do tomorrow on Monday when you go there. And so it's real life. This is that thing that is not, that's why he talked about being first choice. A lot of college students don't go into what they said they were going to go into, and they don't get, on day one, we're putting you where you would do what you were doing, you're going to do it on Monday. Now you're going to get paid for it. So I'm telling you, Denise, it's an exciting time, and I'm talking a lot as I get excited about this.
No, but
I did, for lack of a better word, I stumbled onto it, but I've been going crazy ever since I did.
Well, that's one of the things that, Carl and Darrell, we're in the news business, right? And over the past couple of years, I mean, our publications, other media organizations have really been doing a lot of coverage about the problem. I never hear Potomac Job Corps brought up as a solution, right? And so that's one concern that I have. The other concern or the question that I have is, there are a lot of young people or a lot of folks out here talking about there are not enough programs. We need more programs. We have programs.
We do.
And Job Corps is one of those. Potomac Job Corps is right up the street from where we are, right off of Martin Luther King Avenue in Southwest. But how does a young person get from a situation that they want to see improved in their lives into Job Corps? What is that journey like?
That's a good question. But before I answer that question, I just want to say I love to see Mr. Darrell Green get excited. He's been out to our complex, and that excitement that you see that he is showing, we call that Panther Pride. And so he's been bitten by that Panther Pride. And so our wonderful company, which is called Ecker Connect, we were awarded the contract to operate this great center 2 years ago. Okay. And so we first want to apologize of this being that little secret over here on the southwest side of DC. But I assure you, over the last two years, we have engaged many major companies, many major social services entities, and we are well on our way in really getting this little secret into a big secret. This year, our goal is to engage the public schools, to engage the mayor, because as you said before, the violence is just out of control. And I think that we want to be one of the policymakers. We want to be one of the entities that is at the table to let the city know that we have a lot of resources on our center. And so the way that a student goes about getting in the Job Corps is that we have a recruiting department. And within that recruiting department, their tasks are to go out and recruit young people into our great facility. And it's an exciting time for us. Currently, right now, our name has gotten out into the community, and people are really understanding the value of Job Corps and what we can do for a young person. And so our doors are wide open. Students are coming from here, far and near, because they want to be part of the changes going over here at the Potomac Job Corps. So once the student enters in the program, they go into a 4-week, you would consider an orientation process.
Well, before you go there, Carl, tell me, I mean, they knock on the door, they call, whatever. What qualifies them to be a part of Job Corps?
Right. Good question. What qualifies them? There's an income level that they have to qualify. Again, the criminal record is reviewed. Their suitability for the program. We have a lot of resources. We have a disability coordinator that monitors accommodations. If students are on IEPs, they have accommodations. We have fantastic resources for those young people. So there's an eligibility criteria that students have to meet to get in Job Corps.
16 to 24. 16 to 24.
Yeah.
Right.
That's entry age.
Right.
And
Right.
and if you come in at 16, you probably don't have your high school diploma. You get that.
Correct.
Or you get that, and then you move on from there.
So Darrell, when you and then this is males and females,
Yeah.
right? Okay, so it's open, and is there like a number of young people that you can enroll every year? Is there a limit on that number?
Yeah, our contract is for us to take care of 378 young people.
Wow.
And all of our students live on our campus. We have about 10 slots for students to actually go to school during the day and go home at night. And so we have a on-board strength of 378 students, and we're well on our way in obtaining that. And we're rebounded from COVID. And so, as you know, COVID shut down a lot of stuff. Job Corps didn't shut down. We went in a transition period, and we had to make some changes within our resources to accommodate what we had in regards to COVID. But Job Corps is back open, not back open. Our doors are fully wide open to accept any young person that meets the eligibility criteria. So if you're interested in coming to Job Corps, come on over. And we got a lot of recruiters, potomac.jobcorps.gov. If you are interested, come on over to our facility. We have some fantastic recruiting officers that are ready to take you on a tour and let you be vibrant like Mr. Green is with that Panther pride, and let's get this career started and get you back home and be successful.
So that's what I wanted to ask Darrell about, that Panther pride. I mean, there's something that you saw, not necessarily in the program, but in the young people that are involved in the program that hooked you. Can you maybe talk about some of your experiences there and what your job is at Job Corps?
Yeah.
I have to say, Mr. Green almost started crying.
No, I'm telling you, Denise. I called it, and I take credit for this. I call it the Job Corps secret sauce.
Right.
Because when I first got to them, I couldn't put my finger on it. I was just blown away. Like, what? Now, I had childhood friends that came to Job Corps years ago, back when I was in the 60s, 70s. And I had college students that I came to college with. Matter of fact, a girl came from D.C., came to Texas from D.C. So I knew it and I heard about it, but I didn't really know it. Right. And so when I first got to the facility, I'm like, what? and I mean, culinary, transportation. What else? Carl?
Plumbing, HVAC, carpentry, cement,
medical,
pharmacy technician, culinary arts, hotel.
We're not just talking about just some little stuff. Right. You walk out of there certified to go do these professional jobs. And our goal is to take that young person, because at the end of the day, you as I said before, we're fighting this thing that, be like Mike, they had the commercial said, be like Mike. Then they said, just do it. Well, can you just do it and go to Chicago Bulls and win championship? No, you got to go to school and college. So we're fighting that. But these students are the students and those are the students that like when you go fishing, you can't just go anywhere and catch whatever fish. You got to know that that's what's in the water. So these are the students that have said, hey, I'm ready, y'all. Marquita, young girl that I know, she's the president of one of the centers that we work with. and she's the president. And then Marche, he was the president here with in Potomac. Well, these kids' stories is that, man, I dropped out. Marche said, I didn't have a high school diploma. I just want to get a diploma. Okay, Marche, come on, we'll get you a diploma. You're ready. But guess what? You're going to get more than that diploma. So now, boom, he graduated. Matter of fact, we have a Hall of Fame. So I know I'm going to see the Hall of Fame. We only invited, actually, that was our first Hall of Famer, Carl. He was our first Hall of Famer because the kid he balled out.
Yeah.
But guess what? Just a few years ago, he was at home, just twiddling his thumbs. Now he's dressed up in the morning, getting on Amtrak, doing his thing, doing a great job. But he's trained. And he will grow and he'll become a manager. He's in the system. He can go wherever he wants to go. Right. And I say that to say this. It is about character and integrity and learning to wake up. So mama's not here. You have to get up on time. So there's accountability within what we're doing. You have to show up. You have a job. Sometimes you work in teams. I know in the construction side of things in that house, electrical and carpentry, it's teamwork. Right. We'll put this building up. We're going to do this. And it's teamwork. So they're getting way more than you would get in other environments.
Is the program free to those students?
Yes.
Okay. And then how long does it, once they enroll, and depending on which path they're going to take, how long does it take for them to complete the program?
Yeah, good question. And I want to reiterate that this program is free. Free. It is free. Not only is it free, we give our students biweekly pay. Every 2 weeks they have debit cards. We put money on the debit cards. When a student completes the program, they receive a transition allowance. Who does that? At no cost. No cost. Now the only thing we need for you to do is to show up.
Now you see
where it says show up and ball out. And that's all we need. I mean, we pay them every 2 weeks. We clothe them. We house them. We take them on free rec trips. We give them free tools when they leave the program. Free vocation, we have a medical department, medical doctors, nurses. We have dental. We have eyeglasses. We have mental health.
You see what I'm saying?
We have drug counseling. We're like a little village on over here, and we have
so the homes that they've left. What relationship is there now with their parents or grandparents or caregivers? The folks whose homes that they've left. Are they still involved? Oh, yeah. Particularly for those who are residential. Yes. Is there a role of responsibility for them as well? Or it's like, well, we've got them now and we'll take care of them. And
before Carl speaks, so yeah. Marquita is so she started in the timing age wise, but she's 27 now. And her 7-year-old mom and dad are taking care of her 7-year-old.
Okay.
So that tells you that early on, she was kind of down the road. And then she says, hey, guys, here's my opportunity. Mom and dad says, hey, we got you. Leave baby girl with us. Go do your thing. And then she graduates. Then she goes to an advanced. She goes to a different one, a different facility. Graduates to more of they don't use these terms, but like a master's level where she's an electrician and she's going to go get next level stuff. But mom and dad taking care of baby girl.
Right.
So yes, mom and dad, they're in it. Right, and level, of course, just like anybody else. But no, it's a team effort. But I wanted to say that just personally.
That's a good story. Go ahead, Carl.
And you hit it right on the head. I really believe that I like to involve the family. I'm a big believer in involving anybody in the family. The grandmothers, I love the grandmothers. The grandmothers are those ones that never change that phone number. So I always know if I can reach out to grandmama, I got somebody there. But I will say that we really involve the families. We just got out of winter break. We do have some students that this is their home. And that's what makes Job Corps so great, and that is to take a young person that is a piece of coal and turn them into a diamond. We have a young man that showed up to us homeless,
Yeah, it's a
Living-
lot of them out there too. Mhm.
living out of his car. And guess what, Miss Denise? He is working right now at the embassy.
Wow.
Yes, at the
Wonderful.
embassy.
Yeah.
I can go on and on about stories about Vache, who's working for transportation. We have students leaving here receiving signing bonuses. And I sit back some days in awe, and I'm like, students come here, some students come here with the clothes on their back, but leave here checking into their own apartment. Students come here homeless, barely having a meal, and leave here being able to take someone to dinner, but also leaving out of here driving their own car. Job Corps is a great program. I can go on and on and on.
Yeah, well, that's and I'm glad that you went on here at Let's Talk on Win TV, because we certainly want to do our job to get the story out, because we know that there are alternatives for young people right in their neighborhood. And we've got to do our job to help to get that message out, and to keep those beds full and those classrooms full, and to keep Darrell busy.
Hey, let me tell you something, Denise. First of all, it's funny. I heard you say that earlier, and I'd seen it, but it just didn't hit me. But I wrote it down when we were talking before the show. Win TV. Win TV. We're like a hand in a glove. This is Win TV. This is Win. Job Corps is Win TV.
Yeah.
You know, this show is Win TV. So mamas, daddies, uncles, nephews, whoever you know a child, from lady at church who knows a boy who's at church, or a woman, a single woman, a married woman who has a boy that she's been talking about. He's 17, whatever. You know he's a good kid. He's kind of figuring it out. Call us. So I'm glad we're on Win TV. This is Win TV.
It's a win for all. It's a win for all.
And
right.
I'll just say the last thing that, see, when I'm there and when I hear Carl talk, I'm going crazy, because I know so many of the kids who did not get this opportunity.
Right.
They didn't get it. Get it. And it's been sitting here since 62.
That's amazing.
Here.
Yeah.
This is amazing. That when Carl, he started talking about the benefits, you said, well, how much they pay? Like, free?
No cost.
Oh, you get a stipend? Oh, you got a roof over your head? Oh, you get 3 square meals? And you get trained? And you get taught character, discipline, all those prerequisite things that you need to go out there and be successful with a skill, and the rest of it, it's Thanksgiving with the trimmings. It's a turkey with the trimmings.
And also, Denise, I'd like to say is that we could have joined forces with many people. And I think the reason why we made the decision, our wonderful company, Echo Connect, made the decision to join forces with Mr. Green, was because many people know his story.
Mm-hmm.
His story is directly correlated to what we deal with every day. For 5'8", 5'9", he still looks like he's about 22 years old. I did tell him I was going to beat him in a 40-yard dash. He said, "Come on," and I sat down. But 5'8",
smart move.
Yeah, 5'8", NAIA, and since I've been knowing him now, he's been sharing me his story in regards to some of the struggles with the family's dynamics when he was a young man, and to just overcome all of those obstacles and come to the NFL and commit to one team and do all what he done and become a Hall of Famer. That is the image that we want. That is the message that we want to send to the community. That just as Darrell Green made it through all of his struggles, you can come to Job Corps and be just like Darrell Green, because Job Corps can change your life.
I went to college, no scholarship ever. I walked on. My friend got killed in a car wreck. I dropped out. A year and a half later, I went back 5 hours away from home. And 3 years later, I was drafted in the NFL. And that's when you all met me here in Washington, D.C. But I came from the project, food stamps, free lunch, divorced family, all that stuff, brother died of drug overdose. I've been there, done that. You know, come on. Yep. It's just who don't know, her brother used to run my stuff and support me in all that I did when I was just young, trying to make it happen Calvin, and of course her dad, Calvin Roloff, the main man. If it's gonna be, it's up to me, baby.
That's
I know
it.
the quotes. I know the quotes. But no, I mean, so yeah, you make a good point, Carl. I'm just that guy that's down the street. I was one of those little boys running, going to the store with food stamps, trying to figure out life. And then somebody offered me a Job Corps opportunity where I had no money. I couldn't get to college. And so, so I am excited about this. And I'm just praying that people will check out Win TV and they'll shoot you notes and say, hey, I got my nephew over there. I got my cousin over there, my brother's over there, my son, my daughter. And that this will be a pipeline for people to understand that the Informer, Win TV is the place to find resources. And this is, to me, the winning resource at this hour. There may be other things that people need, but for a majority of our people in this city, Job Corps Potomac is what we need now, right now.
I couldn't have paid you, I don't think, to say something more complimentary, Darrell. I really appreciate that about Win TV and having you all
It's
on.
true. It's just true. Go ahead.
And that's why we do this, because we want to be a resource to the community, and we want to see young people filing in a long line trying to get into Job Corps. So we're going to continue this relationship. I know you have goals and aspirations, and so we're going to talk a little bit more about that the next time we get together. Because I got folks waiting for the next segment right now.
Let us get out of here. We really appreciate you.
But
really.
I appreciate you all, because that's what makes the win. We all win. When we're working together to build our communities, to provide resources, to get information out, and to celebrate young people. That's what I like. They have a graduation. So invite us to the graduation. We definitely want to be there, again. And
you invite us back too. And hey,
me
and Carl, we taking this on the road, baby. We taking this on the road. And listen, we with you, and anything we can do to be a part of what you're doing, you call us as well.
Will do.
And Ms. Denise, I'd just like to say to the city, we are new here to the city. We've been here now 3 years. And I'm just happy that you allowed us to come on to present these great resources for the city. And I just want to say to the city of DC and to all parents, churches, anyone who's listening who will be seeing this, please have faith in us, because we are change agents over here. Just only thing we need for you to do is come on over and turn your young folk over and watch us change their life.
Well, I like what I see in the background. It says we connect, we learn. I don't know if that's your theme, but I like those two. You want to close out with whatever the Job Corps theme is? Potomac Job Corps theme is?
Our theme here is I'll holler out who's next. That is who's next to leave this program a legend. Our students are Panthers. That's our mascot, but they transition to legends. And we have a ceremony. Yes, Mr. Green is an honorary legend. And so we have a motto: if it's not good enough for you or your loved ones, it's not good enough for our students. And so I'll just leave you with that, knowing that if your young person shows up to our facility, they're in good hands. And
Denise, I'll leave you with the Commanders need a new guy. They're trying to find a new Joe Gibbs. And I believe they need one. This guy here is that guy for Job Corps. He came in here just a few years ago, and he's our guy taking us to the Super Bowl. So
okay.
This guy right here. Oh no, he's the guy.
Well, he's got broad shoulders, so I think he can get us there.
No, he handles it. Yeah, he's big too. He's big. That's why he keeps calling me short. He got big shoulders now. He got big shoulders. And me and him, I'm just riding his tail. I'm riding his tail. Yeah.
Thank you,
gentlemen. Thank you so very much for being with us today. It's a great way to start off the new year, and we will see you back here at Win TV real soon.
All right. I'll be ready for you in 6 months running at 40. That's my New Year's resolution. And that is to beat Darrell Green.
Oh, okay. I didn't think you were talking about me. Okay.
No, 10 yards. 10 yards. I only need 10 yards.
Hey, look, you got to beat Denise first before you get the race.
Denise.
All right. Thank you so much. See you, Darrell. So if you happen to see this segment of the show today, tomorrow, whenever you see it, make sure you get that clip. We're going to provide that. Share it with, as Darrell said, the folks at your church, the folks at your job, the folks in your social organization, your next door neighbor. your cousins, your aunts, your uncles, anybody that has a young person that you think could benefit from this program. We certainly want to see them succeed, and Job Corps seems to be and has proven to be the place where that can happen. So, speaking of success in our community, I am so thrilled to bring on, I'll say, the engines behind the upcoming Martin Luther King Holiday DC Peace Walk and Parade. They're joining us today. We have Stuart Anderson. As I said, he is really the engine. Maurice Fouché and Wendell Wren, who are going to talk to us about this week of celebrating the life and legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King. Welcome, gentlemen.
My pleasure to be here.
So we just ended with a bunch of energy about young folks, and this is what this is all about, right, Stuart? I mean,
that's it. Y'all got to get excited, guys. Y'all got to get excited.
Let's get excited. We only a couple days away.
You know, this whole MLK holiday celebration in Ward 8 specifically was created to support, to highlight, to present to young people, and to really help them to understand the work of Dr. King. Stuart, you put it so well in the past. Let's talk about your role and why you believe it's important to participate in this annual event.
Well, let me first say thank you to Win TV for having us on. Thank you for allowing us to be able to spread this message and this information. A long time ago, Denise's father, her stepmother, and of course, the great Waldorf P.D. Green. We talked about him earlier today on the first Friday. Man, look, they came together and they began to galvanize people in the community at the grassroots level to push for the creation of a federal holiday for Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. I don't need to tell people a lot about Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. I want to talk about our homegrown soldiers who came together 4 years before the holiday and began to celebrate Dr. King in this city. Nobody else was doing it. And together with some churches, 4 churches of notability, Bethlehem, Campbell AME, Covenant, UUC, and Living Word Church, their pastors were social justice type of pastors, and they were right there lockstep with the councilwoman, Denise's father, and P.D. Green saying, we got to get people stirred up about Dr. King. We got to make his holiday so that his messages never die. So for me, the importance of us hosting this 19th annual Peace Walk and Parade, the actual 44th time that we've celebrated Dr. King like this, what makes it so important is that we keep all of his ideas, all of his visions, all of his dreams alive, but we also teach people about the King himself, that radical, agent for change, for human rights across the globe. So that's why it's so important. We want to make sure that there are some people around when we're gone that's going to continue to talk about Dr. King and never lose the narrative, because somewhere it was said, if we're not writing the story, we're going to be left out the story. So that's why it's so important for me to be involved and be at the head of the table as a co-chair with Denise and the logistics coordinator for the overall events.
So let's go down the calendar, because I definitely want to get Wendell in and Maurice. Maurice has been participating as a volunteer, because this is an all volunteer effort. I don't know how many years you've been with us now, Maurice? About 13, 14 years?
Not quite that long. I think I'm coming up on 9 years now.
Oh, okay. Who's counting? Who's counting? I just asked.
9 or 10 years.
You sure you wasn't around in 2010?
No, I wasn't here then. No.
Okay, it seems like it, because you do such a great job.
But the big highlight, of course, is the Peace Walk and Parade. So if we can talk briefly about that, because there are other events, Stuart and Wendell and Maurice, that folks don't know about as well, that are critical and crucial to this event that we've been doing for the past 4 years and more. So go ahead, Stuart.
So I'm gonna push this up real close, and hopefully people get a sense of it. Right? It's a flyer. It's out there. Go to our website, mlkholidayDC.org. That's mlkholidayDC.org. Go to our website, and you can see some images of all of or most of the events that we sponsor in the week leading up to the parade. So we'll start the parade off with the Peace Walk. The Peace Walk will start at the intersection where Malcolm meets Martin, which is Malcolm X Avenue and Martin Luther King Avenue, right there in what is known as Shepherd's Parkway. So there'll be a peace rally that'll take place there. They will begin to convene and everything around 9 a.m.
Let's get the date, Monday, January the 15th.
And so that's Monday, January the 15th. And the points of contact for that couldn't be with us today for other, they detailed on other things, but Edward Huff and DeJuan Mason have been doing a great job working with Pastor George Gilbert to pull together our clergy front, line up a host of speakers for our peace rally. That is going to be really phenomenal. It's going to be really big because it's going to be a lot of youth doing the talking.
That's what it's all about. Exactly.
That's the first piece. I just came out of the meeting over at the Ride Center where the lineup will take place with Events DC and DEMPED officials, just making sure we're all on the same page. We'll have a host of marshals. We're asking everybody, please pay attention to the individuals wearing the red hoodies, follow their directions. They're only there to keep us safe and make sure we're organized. But the parade will begin to assemble. We'll begin registration for the parade and everything roughly around 9:30, 10 o'clock. The parade will step. Oh, let me back up for 1 second. The Peace Walk will step off no later than 10:45. The Peace Walk. So the Peace Rally will start at, I believe they start at 9:15. They will wrap up and be stepping off by 10:45. The parade, we will be doing the lineup for the parade while the Peace Walk rally is working and happening. Once 11 o'clock comes, man, the parade begins. And we will proceed north on MLK all the way down to the newly renamed Marienberry Avenue. And we will make that left turn into the Anacostia Park where the parade procession will end. Along that route, I just want to say a few things about things that are happening along that route. Matthews Memorial will be open as a warming station. You'll be able to stop there at Matthews if you want, jump in and use the restroom if you have to, grab something hot to, keep you cool and warm inside. And then the next one is Campbell, which is right next door. They will be open as a warming station as well. You'll be able to do the same thing there, step in, use the restroom, grab something hot, get back into procession, continue down. Our command center will be located at 2500 MLK. That's where we will be able to talk to each other and understand what's going on along the whole procession. We will also have at that location so that everybody understands and know where you need to go for help, lost and found, take a kid, parent looking for a kid, medical attention and things that are needed will be right there at that location, 2500 MLK. It is the Black Workers Wellness Center. Across the street from there is Thurgood Marshall. Thurgood Marshall's doors will be open as a warming station as well. And then, yes.
I was just going to say, I think really, and kind of wrap that up, the thing is that the parade route, rain, snow, sleet, or hail, unless someone tells us we can't have the parade, we will be out there. And so we know that it can be a bit chilly. So we have set up these warming stations along the way, and we will have guides who can tell people where to go if they need to go someplace inside. I want to get to the health fair because that is the other major event that happens along the way. And I want to introduce Wendell Wren. Let me, because that's going to be right across the street from where our reviewing stand is. And I'm happy to announce that Sam Ford, who has retired from WJLA TV after a 30-year career with the station, will continue to co-host, co-MC the parade along with me on that day. But Wendell, let's talk about the health fair. And you've done something different this year. You've been doing it for 4 years, but this it's a different focus this year. I want you to talk about that.
So, like Stuart, I would like to thank Win TV for having me. I would like to thank you all for the opportunity to be able to give back to the community. I count it as a privilege and an honor. So thank you to the both of you all for entrusting us in me such a large responsibility. Um, so this year the gear is towards men. I feel like, well, let me say this: we will service any human being that comes into the health and wellness fair. Any need that you might have that we can meet in that space, male, female, child, boy, girl, it doesn't matter. We're going to meet the need in that space. However, my goal is to touch at least 100 men in some type of way at one of our stations, whether it be for them to sign up to get their colon checked, or whether it be to sign up with a mental health agency, whether it's visiting Whitman Walker's mobile clinic, to get some type of testing or some type of screening. But the goal that I've set is that we touch or reach at least 100 men and have it in some type of record that has been done. The man is the head of the household, and I believe if we start working on getting healthy in our mental, physical, and spiritual beings, I think that it will help change the trajectory of where our area is going. So that's the vision. We have to date 12 registered organizations that will be out giving out information. I already said a few. We have an awesome band that will be performing. They are the same band that I've had. They are a praise and worship team, but they have a way of just bringing a spirit of togetherness, a spirit of healing. And that's what we want. We're going to have positive chalk out there so you can come by, write some positive messages to yourself to remind you of who you are on the ground. We have a phenomenal poet, up and coming poet. His name is Eric Kellerman. He goes by Uncle E. He has a 6-minute poem that is absolutely incredible that he has put together to honor the life and legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King. So he'll be joining us. He'll be hitting the stage at 11:15. So if you want to catch him, he'll be on at 11:15. We'll be giving out male and female toiletry bags, and that project is going to be spearheaded by the AKAs. They'll be right outside of the gates. The left side is designated for the females. The
Alpha
right
Kappa
side is
Alpha
designated
sorority.
for the males.
The sorority, AKAs.
Yes,
Okay.
the AKAs.
Okay.
They'll be spearheading that particular piece, and we just got a lot of different things going on. DC Retro Jumpers will be back with us, so we can double dutch some more.
Well, it sounds like, again, it sounds like we've got a wonderful, wonderful event for the health fair. And Wendell, you've done a tremendous job, as you do every year. And then, Maurice, you bring in the other aspect of the black and gold. We're so glad to see the Phi Alpha fraternity brothers who march in the parade every year. But even individually, you help to do our cleanup and looking at environmental aspect of the parade. You want to talk about that a little bit?
Sure. Thank you for the opportunity. Thank Win TV for this invitation. And so, yes, this is my second year co-leading with John Zatoli for the cleanup effort. And it's part of contributing to the neighborhood and supporting the neighborhood. Is not just a parade marching down the street. That's certainly a good thing for that day to acknowledge it, but it's a day of service. That's one thing that we should always try to remember, a day of service. That's Monday, January 15th. And the cleanup will occur on some of the blocks surrounding Martin Luther King Jr. Avenue. And we'll send out teams. John and I will be at the health fair no later than 11 o'clock, actually a little before 11, and then we'll start receiving people at about 11. The teams will primarily go out and clean up different blocks and different areas from noon to about 2 o'clock. That's about the end of the parade. And towards the end, we'll probably make sure we send out more people towards Anacostia Park, which will be the end of the parade route. And this is not just cleanup, it's related to a service and also related to environmental justice. And so that's something that we probably don't emphasize enough in this society for Martin Luther King, was that he was an environmental justice advocate. And so he was able to link environmental justice with racial justice, with economic justice. And so he was able to connect these items, make these connections and make these linkages, which some leaders even now fail to do.
Well, I think it's it's interesting, Stuart, and you all know when we sit down, when the committee sits down in August and we plan out this event, and people come up with ideas, and so it's not like we dictate, okay, you do this, you do this. People come up with an idea and they roll with it, and it makes for a universally grand celebration or observance of the life and legacy of Dr. King. Wendell has done that. Maurice, you've done that. And Stuart, you've done that for the last, 14, 15, 16 years. I don't know. Who's counting? Counting? Yeah. But can you just give us, some more details? I want to thank all of you all for being here. But just, again, Monday, January 15th. And if there's anything else that you might want to add that we're doing, I think it would be interesting to talk a little bit about the essay contest that the Mayor's Youth Leadership Institute is doing. That's going to take place on Saturday, January the 13th, right, at 2:00.
Mm-hmm. So since we're right there, the essay contest is probably our most prolific and really in-depth way of ensuring that successive generations have some reverence or knowledge of Dr. King. And it's actually because we ask them to write about a theme that we come up with, or some quote that Dr. King has made or said, or some idea that the Institute, the Mayor's Youth Leadership Team, comes up with based upon what they hear from us. And so this year, they've done a wonderful job. We have some wonderful candidates, and we'll have that ceremony at the main library down on 9th and G Street in Northwest Washington, D.C. We will give all of the youngsters who have won. They've already decided, I believe, I think they completed that task already. I don't know who the winners are, but the winners will be announced. They'll be given their certificates. They'll get their little stipends, and some of them will speak during some of these other events that we're going to have, right?
Can I just note one thing? I know we run out of time, yes. But people often say young people don't like writing essays. And mind you, next year we're going to expand. There's some talk about expanding this beyond essays, spoken word, art, what have you, which I think is really important. But I think it's interesting to note that they got over 100 essays.
Hey, and that's so that kills the myth that they don't write, because they write, and it's not easy picking a winner, right? Because they are so good. They are so good. Some of them are
what is it? What's the starting grade? I think it's
so we're doing elementary school,
right?
We're doing middle school, and we're doing high school,
right?
And these young folks, they are phenomenal, and I think, are we printing some of those in the Washington?
Yes, the winning essays will be published in the Washington Informer.
Winning essays will be published in the Washington Informer. Some of the other winners will be allowed to speak at other, or do some oratory, read their pieces and everything. And it is so phenomenal. So definitely check it out. If you're looking for something to do on Saturday, 2 p.m., Martin Luther King Library, downtown DC. The other event on Monday. Well, we didn't talk about the prayer breakfast, did we? Well, we'll have a prayer breakfast early on Saturday, right? This is the 6th annual prayer breakfast. Again, somebody came to me and said, we should have a prayer breakfast. And so I said, you know what? That's a great idea. You got the job. Let me know what I need to do to help you. And we're 6 years having a prayer breakfast. This year's prayer breakfast, we always trying to draw young people in. The keynote speaker for the prayer breakfast is a young up-and-coming pastor. You should, well, unfortunately, you can't if you haven't already bought a ticket. This thing is
too late.
It has sold out, but we'll probably try to capture some of it.
It will be live streamed. will be live streamed. So
So
we'll give that information next Friday.
Hey, look, the youth presentation at the prayer breakfast, MLK prayer breakfast, will be televised. Then Monday, I got to jump to Monday real quick. Monday, we will have song and reflections at Living Word Church. You heard me speak about Living Word Church's role in this thing earlier, but there's an event there, 6:30, Living Word Church, 4101 Martin Luther King Jr. Avenue, Southwest DC. You should come. It's a free. Hey, look, the price is right. It's free. Come on out and experience this song and reflection and remembrance of Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Then on Tuesday, we're having this film down at the Busboys in Port. It's really ideal for some young folk. We want to introduce them, so we're going to play the Children's March. And so we'll play the Children's March, have a conversation with those young folk about it briefly over some, brief hors d'oeuvres or something, light refreshments. That's a correct way to say it. Light refreshments. And then on Thursday is a closed event. This event is a real focused event. It's focused on healing. It's focused on the survivors of senseless violence. King came out real hard against violence. And so we want to be able to do something in that vein. And so we're doing that service. That will take place on Thursday. Friday, there's this play. This play, I have not seen it. I've just heard about it, but I've heard about it from so many different people. It's been put together and pulled together, and it is a phenomenal testament against violence. Ways we can deal with it. So, again, this is another one of those events that we've been able to find sponsors to cover the cost for it and everything. So the price is right. Free, 6:30 to 8:30 at the Art, 1901 Mississippi Avenue. Those are our featured events. There are a lot of other events, right? And we try to be like a clearinghouse. So we say, if you got an event, post it up, send us a link, send us a clip, post it. We'll post it on our website so everybody can know it. So go MLKHolidayDC.org. MLKHolidayDC.org.
That's right. That's right. Okay, so we like 2 minutes over, but that's okay because we want to make sure that everybody knows they can go to the website, get information. Is it too late? I know we said our deadline for participants in the parade was going to be January 6th, I believe, and because we will be doing getting information for the line out. So if you have not registered for the parade, tell them what they need to do, Stuart.
Okay, so we got right now, we got 110 registers. We got 110 organizations and individuals already registered to be in the parade. But if you want to be in the parade, get it in. Get it in between now and tomorrow, because after tomorrow is dead. I promise you. The last chance is dead, okay? But what you do is go to our website, MLKHolidayDC.org. You go to MLKHolidayDC.org. Scroll across the top. When you scroll across the top of the website, you'll see a section that says Get Involved. Click the section, go down to March in the Parade. When you click the section that says March in the Parade, a Google Doc will pop up. Complete the Google Doc. It'll come to us. We will acknowledge that we have received it, and you will be registered to participate in the parade. You're going to see on there a reference to $100. That $100 only applies to anyone who's putting a vehicle in the procession. You're putting a motorbike, a scooter, a car, a float, a flatbed. You have to pay the $100 entry fee. It will also ask you to upload your insurance information. And people say, my dance group don't handle insurance. It's not about that. It's about the automobile insurance.
Exactly.
You got to be able to submit that to be in the parade. So you got to pay the $100 and upload your insurance document. All you do is take a picture of it and then upload it through the website. And we will notify you that we have everything, that you're good to go. And then we will give you instructions. We'll start sending those instructions out sometime between Monday and by Thursday. Everybody will know exactly what it is they need to do. Again, go to our website, MLKHolidayDC.org. Scroll across the top, click Get Involved, go down, March in the Parade, and fill out the Google Doc, pay your fee if it applies, and you're all set. We'll send you something and let you know.
Stuart, thank you. And Maurice, thank you so very much for sharing all of it. You have, I'm sorry.
Just very, very quickly.
Yeah, go ahead.
for volunteers, if you're interested in students, mention the website.
Yes.
You go to get involved, and then under get involved, there's volunteers. So again, that's get involved and then volunteers. The other thing is for those students who might need community service hours, this would be a great time, a great way to receive those hours. We can certify those for you.
Yes.
Glad you got that in there. I appreciate that. That's wonderful. So, I mean, so much more to share, but if you don't remember anything, just go to the website and it's all there. And we certainly want to see a wonderful, we're looking for great weather. So if you have any connections to the God of weather, please put us in your prayers. We know it'll be chilly, but we just would love the sun to shine. That would be great. So I want to thank you all for joining us. I definitely want to thank our loyal viewers, Austin Cooper, James Wright, Stacey Brown is with us today. And Trina, thank you so much for joining us. Make sure you share WIN TV with us, with your friends and followers in the future. We look forward to that. And my mom, Vera Abbott, says she has errands to run. So she had to click off on the show. So we won't let her miss out on anything else. We'll just end here. I wish both of you all, again, a happy new year. Looking forward to seeing you actually tomorrow, but on January 15th. Everybody, we want to see everybody on January 15th here in Ward 8 and Southeast on Martin Luther King Avenue as we celebrate the life and legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King.
Hey, Denise.
Yes.
You got to pay homage to your father, right? You got to say it like he would say it. This is for who?
Lottie Dottie and everybody we want to see there on MLK Avenue on the MLK holiday, January 15, 2024. Lottie Dottie and everybody.
Yes.
Sounding off. Thank you so very much.
All right. Thank you.
Right.